We continue to build on our project The Circle. In the last episode, we expanded the shopping mall and built a hotel complex. And in this episode, we go underground and build a transport ride that will surround the whole area. There will be 4 stations, I guess, that will allow guests to get off in the 4 city districts. First, I wanted to put the construction of the ride, the first station underground and the building above it, into a single video. But this video would last more than 50 minutes, even at the highest acceleration, and I don't want to put that on you. I know that some of you, just like me, use these videos to get inspiration which parts fit together in Planet Coaster. And after reviewing my previous videos, I have come to the conclusion that a maximum of 15 times the speed of acceleration is ideal for watching the building process. So I split this construction into 3 videos. To get you into the right mood what we are doing here, I obviously dedicated the circle to Paris. And Paris, of course, has an underground railway, the so-called metro. Metro is an abbreviation for Paris Metropolitan, yet this abbreviation has been adopted in very many cities that are not Paris. I start the construction by creating a template for the first station. The building would have been freestyle for sure, but I wanted to have a kind of a template with the right distances and depth of the building, how I have to put the pathing later on. I also wanted to have a template where I can put in an information desk. In Planet Coaster, these information desks are meant to advertise attractions, but mainly to sell a fast pass to the guests, which allows faster access to the attractions via a separate queue. Of course, we don't have this here simply because I don't want to build any attractions in this city. However, we can assume that the information desks would be designed to sell tickets for the metro. You can already tell by this first one, I sink the stations into the earth so that they disappear just below the surface. This is enough for the railway lines, but as we will see later, this is not nearly enough to make the stations disappear under the Earth's surface. Terraforming is a great thing in this game, but it doesn't allow you to just simply put a thin layer of lawn over a building to hide them underground. Many stations in Paris are nothing more than a tiny but very artistic entrance into the underground. We will have to diverge from this and put buildings on the stations instead. Yeah, now we come into the copy around part. The transport ride that I'm using here does not quite match one of the originals visually, although it is also a steel wheel subway. Trams or subways do not need as much driving power as locomotives used in long-distance traffic. Their engine power is designed for short trips between stations that follow each other on short intervals. They also pull only a few wagons with a small load. In Paris, these are usually 4 to 5 wagons. They do not need to be built in a streamlined way like this transport ride. A boxy style is sufficient for this purpose. What comes close to the original in this replica are the stations themselves. The old stations in Paris usually have light-colored walls and light-colored floor, which is only logical because there is a lack of light underground, and with light-colored building materials that reflect light, less energy and money has to be spent on lighting. In new or renovated stations, a dark floor is being installed more and more often. You probably won't be able to see the dirt as quickly, but above all, with today's lighting technology, the cost of operating the system has fallen, so that darker materials can also be used for aesthetic reasons. The building materials in Planet Coaster deliver that. You see myself struggling with the routing here until I understand that the last inserted section of the track must be straight in order to build the straight station, or at the angle I want it to be. First of all stations should be connected to the path so that a mechanic can reach the train if there is a technical problem. I will rebuild the stations a little bit in later episodes so that they all look different, but for now this one construction should be fine. Okay, the pathing will take a while, so let's move on. For the tracks between the stations, I didn't want to just leave it at the cave which the tool itself creates during the construction of the track, but built in the arches for castles, which also allow a nice atmospheric lighting. But that alone was too boring for me, so I built two emergency exits into the track. Fun fact, before I leave you alone with the rest of the construction work, it is rumored that every building in the city of Paris is located at maximum of 400 meters, depending on the source, also spoken of 10 minutes walk, away from a metro station. But that alone was too boring for me, so I built two emergency exits into the track. Fun fact, before I leave you alone with the rest of the construction work, it is rumored that every building in the city of Paris is located at maximum of 400 meters, depending on the source, also spoken of 10 minutes walk, away from a metro station. We are just finishing the construction work at the second emergency exit. I felt like I needed to operate a stereotype here. Big shout out for all workers underground. One of the workers is doing his job, the second is supervising him, and the third one is somehow in his own business. We are about to take the train, but I already thank you for watching and would be happy if you leave me a comment and a like. See you again in the next episode when we expand the first station. Thank you and take care.